Rivalries keeping it tense for years, but sometimes they fizzle away.
And that's 12 consecutive wins for Kansas City over the Denver Broncos.
Some NFL rivalries will never go away. We're talking Packers-Bears, Ravens-Steelers, and even Giants-Eagles. Every football fan loves a good rivalry. Fortunately, there are several compelling ones that are really starting to turn up, and they'll hopefully replace some of the older rivalries that have totally died down. Here are 5 NFL rivalries that are heating up and 5 that are pretty much dead. Heating up, Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills. The 2020 AFC Championship was simply a preview of what's to come. There will be plenty of high-stakes showdowns between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen for the next decade plus. When you look at the AFC, it just feels like these are two clubs who are best built to win today, tomorrow, and over the next 5 to 7 years. Such is life when you have two brilliant and well-managed front offices, as well as excellent coaching and several franchise cornerstones on both sides of the ball. Mahomes and Allen are two all-world talents who figure to each win multiple MVP awards throughout their careers. And it's hard to not envision Allen eventually following Mahomes' footsteps by leading his team to a Super Bowl championship. We're not saying Mahomes versus Allen will be the next Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, but if there are two quarterbacks in the AFC that will consistently stand in each other's way on their respective paths to a Super Bowl, it's the two young stars residing in KC and Buffalo. Dead. New England Patriots and Pittsburgh Steelers. There was a 15-year period where all of the Patriots, Steelers, and Peyton Manning-led Denver Broncos or Indianapolis Colts dominated the AFC for a decade. Competition breeds hate, and that's what the Pats and Steelers endured in the 2001 and 04 AFC Championship games. The second-seeded Patriots defeated the number 1-seeded Steelers at their home, turning en route to Super Bowl championships. And of course, New England destroyed Pittsburgh in the 2016 AFC title game at Gillette Stadium. Tom Brady went 9-3 against the Steelers as a Patriot. Between Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Ben Roethlisberger, James Harrison, and Joey Polamalu, there was no shortage of star power in this rivalry. And the hate was real too. Remember when Anthony Smith wrongfully guaranteed that his Steelers would hand the Pats their first loss of the 07 season?
What gives you the confidence to go out and guarantee a win in a game like this?
The guys I'm playing with, we got a great D-line, great linebacker core, and great DBs.
Spoiler alert, they didn't, and Bill Belichick threw out this roast. We played against a lot better safeties than him, I'll tell you. The safety play at that position was pretty inviting. And then you had James Harrison and Brian Clark throwing shade at the Patriots after their Super Bowl 46 loss to the New York Giants. You also had the unforgettable Jesse James controversial no-catch game in 2017, which led to the Bats securing the top seed over Pittsburgh. That same season, the Patriots signed Harrison after the Steelers released him. Anyway, this rivalry is long gone. Most of the key cornerstones on both sides have left. Without Brady, it ain't the same. It's been a half-decade since their last playoff meeting. It was fun when these two historic franchises led by Hall of Fame QBs and coaches consistently duked it out for AFC bragging rights. But there's not much remaining in this once joyous rivalry. Heating up, Baltimore Ravens and Tennessee Titans. The Ravens and Titans had an intense rivalry throughout the 2000s, meeting in the playoffs 3 times. Baltimore won 2 of those matchups, including the 2000 AFC Divisional Round en route to a Super Bowl. But this rivalry has really picked up ever since these two teams met in the 2019 AFC Divisional Round. The number 6 seeded Titans demolished the Ravens and spoiled Lamar Jackson's MVP season 28-12. The two teams met again in Week 11 of the 2020 season. Before the game, John Harbaugh got into a heated shouting match with Mike Vrabel and multiple Titans players because the former wasn't happy with Tennessee players huddling on the Ravens logo pregame. Tennessee won the game in overtime on a Derrick Henry touchdown run. However, Baltimore scored revenge when they defeated the Titans on the road in the wildcard round. And so you have two top AFC contenders who are largely built by elite rushing games and physically imposing defenses. Throw in all the heat Harbaugh and Vrabel have, and you have a rivalry that's really just starting to heat up again. If they meet several more times in the playoffs over the next few years, grab your popcorn. This is going to be fun.
Just stand back there, you're over there. Disrespectful. Go home. It's disrespectful.
Dead. Denver Broncos and Kansas City Chiefs. Every year from 2010 to 2020, the AFC West was won by either the Broncos or the Chiefs. This rivalry was at its peak between 2013 and 2015, when Peyton Manning's boys battled Alex Smith and Andy Reid. All 3 of those men were instrumental in restoring relevance to their respective franchises. They had several unforgettable moments, including Eric Decker's 4-TD game in 2013, and the Broncos' epic Week 2 2015 Thursday night win following Jamal Charles' fumble. And of course, both the Broncos and Chiefs won themselves a Lombardi trophy in the past decade. But this has been a completely one-sided affair since Manning's retirement in 2016. The Broncos have become an afterthought, while the Chiefs have emerged as an AFC heavyweight. If the Broncos can ever get themselves a true franchise quarterback, this rivalry could be instantly reignited. But until that time, Chiefs vs. Broncos will remain an afterthought on the NFL schedule. Heating up, New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 2006, the Saints brought in Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Those two forever changed the direction of this long-time losing franchise. So there really wasn't much drama from this NFC South rivalry. The Bucs seem to have more beef with the Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons have always been New Orleans' main rival. But once Tom Brady left New England for Tampa, it was game on. New Orleans embarrassed the Bucs twice in the 2020 regular season to seemingly hold on to their claim as the kings of the division. But then Brady and company sent Drew Brees into retirement on a sad note by defeating the Saints in the Superdome in the divisional round. Having those two push for the all-time passing yards and passing touchdowns crowns added more fuel to the rivalry, as did the Saints signing of Jameis Winston, who served as Tampa's starting QB from 2015 to 19. So yeah, even if Brees is no longer around, this is a can't-miss rivalry that will remain enticing for at least a couple more years. Dead. San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers and Seahawks rivalry was at its peak from 2011 to 14. The whole Pete Carroll vs. Jim Harbaugh storyline. Richard Sherman vs. Michael Crabtree, Frank Gore, and Marshawn Lynch. Duking it out, this rivalry had everything. One of these two clubs represented the NFC in the Super Bowl every year from 2012 to 14. Sure, the 49ers became awful from 2015 to 18, but the rivalry stormed back to life in 2019 when San Fran came out of nowhere and stole the NFC West from the Seahawks by an inch in Week 17. But now, meh. Russell Wilson is on his way out of Seattle. The Seahawks aren't exactly contenders anymore, while the Niners have been up and down for the past few seasons. At the time, the Los Angeles Rams and Arizona Cardinals have emerged as the top two teams in the division, and it figures to stay that way for the long run. It's hard to envision Seattle getting back to contention with Wilson poised to leave, and with key members from both sides of the Seahawks-Niners rivalry long gone. There just isn't any real competition or emotion in these games anymore. Heating up, Green Bay Packers and Los Angeles Rams. There's not necessarily bad blood here between the Rams and Packers, but you just get the feeling that so long as Aaron Rodgers remains in Green Bay, the Packers and Rams will be heated rivals for the foreseeable future. These are two of the league's most well-run organizations. Both have young offensive-minded head coaches, MVP-level quarterbacks, rock-solid offensive lines, and championship-level defenses. They're evenly matched across the board, and the 2020 NFC Divisional Round showdown figures to be just one of many pivotal battles between Matt LaFleur and Sean McVay. Would it really surprise anyone if both of these teams won a Super Bowl within the next few years? The Rams and Pack promise to serve as a major obstacle to each other's Super Bowl journey over the next half-decade or so. Can't wait to see it. Dead. Baltimore Ravens and New England Patriots. Tom Brady, Terrell Suggs, Torrey Smith, Anquan Bolden, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman. Man, just think of all those stars who made this rivalry a Hollywood-like drama. But they're all long gone. From 2009 to 2014, these teams met at Gillette Stadium in the postseason 4 times. Both clubs claimed 2 victories each. The Ravens were one of the few teams that were fearless against the Patriots. We saw some epic trash talk between Brady, Suggs, and Lewis. And even Belichick and Derek Mason got involved.
Oh, you, Mason. Just you, will ya? Why don't we talk after the game, all right? Just shut the up.
But even when Brady met Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in Week 9 of the 2019 season, that game didn't feel like a rivalry game anymore. A year later, the Cam Newton-led Patriots barely held on for a home win in a rain-filled affair at Gillette Stadium against the Ravens. But once again, it just wasn't the same emotional altercation as the previous New England-Baltimore games. The major heat isn't there anymore, but it was fun while it lasted. Heating up, Kansas City Chiefs and New England Patriots. Following Manning's aforementioned retirement, the Chiefs emerged as the new main challenger to the Patriots' AFC throne. Those two clubs met in the 2015 divisional round and 2018 AFC title game, both New England victories. But Mahomes finally bested Tom Brady in Week 14 of the 2019 season, and the Chiefs went on to win Super Bowl 54 that year. The Patriots endured a down 2020 season, but it took Bill Belichick just 1 year to rebuild this team into a contender. And now the Patriots are once again looking like they're headed for another run to AFC dominance, with perhaps only the Chiefs in their way. Andy Reid may be the offensive guru, but Belichick is the defensive Jedi Master, who's found ways to slow down Mahomes' electrifying aerial attack. Mac Jones has emerged as a fine successor to Tom Brady in his rookie season. Now that the Patriots have regained their swagger, you know they'll be right up there among the AFC's elite. Can Kansas City become the new dynasty? Or will New England prevent that from happening and reclaim the throne as AFC's top dog? This is going to be a thrilling long-term battle for NFL fans to enjoy. Dead Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. This is one of the oldest, most storied rivalries of the Super Bowl era. But ever since their 2014 and 2016 playoff meetings, both Green Bay victories, the Cowboys have mostly been mired in mediocrity, and Green Bay had a couple of off years as well, before returning to elite status under Matt LaFleur in 2019. These teams only had 2 regular season meetings between the 2017 and 2021 years. And Green Bay, by the way, has won 8 of the last 9 meetings. That's not a rivalry, that's a one-sided beatdown. Truth is, Aaron Rodgers versus Dak Prescott just doesn't offer the same thrill as Bart Starr versus Don Meredith, or Brett Favre versus Troy Aikman. It's really too bad because this used to be one of the most competitive rivalries in American sports. What other NFL rivalries are heating up and which are dead? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, we're on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click down below and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
On my knee.